And I was finally at a point in my life to where I had to literally live the scripture. I had to live James chapter 1 when it says, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, when you face trials of many kind, because the testing of your faith goes on to produce perseverance, and perseverance must finish its race so that you may be complete and lacking nothing. I had to live it. I had to live the Romans 8:28 when it says, and we know that all things work to the good of those who love the Lord, who are called according to his will and his purpose. I had to live it. I had to live Jeremiah 29:11 when it says, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope in the future. Inky, I need you to trust me. I'm like, Lord, I need you to trust me. And then I started thinking about the day I got injured, and I went back, and I'm a detail guy, right? And so when I do something, I've never been the biggest, the fastest, the most strongest. Like, I've never been that guy. And so my advantage was always my work ethic, my attention to detail. And so when I showed up to play an opponent, I knew just about everything about him because that was my edge. And so I'm a routine guy. Like, I'll get up, eat oatmeal and banana, do it every single day. And my wife would be like, you need to eat an apple. I'm like, no, I need to stick to my routine. And when I went back and I analyzed the day, I'm looking at it from the time we left the hotel. And what I'm trying to see about the day that my career ended, I'm trying to see, was it anything different that happened other than my injury? And so I'm like, man, I got up at the same time. I was like, I did my push-ups at the same time. I'm like, when we got out to the stadium, I did my same pregame drills. I did that W drill. I did a couple of DB drills. I did the same drills. I'm like, man, I even listened to the same pregame music. Phil Collins, I can feel it coming in. That was my jam, right? Listen, that Phil Collins, I get ready to go, right? I even listened to the same song. And I get in the fourth quarter of a game, a little bit under 2 minutes left, and I make a tackle that I could literally make with my eyes closed. And 2 hours later, I'm in the emergency room, and I'm fighting for my life. And I wake up the next day, my career's over, almost lost my life, got a paralyzed right arm and hand, and my life has completely changed. And somehow, when Coach Foreman walked into the room and said, Inky, how are you doing? I said, Coach, I'm blessed. I'm good. I'm still alive. My career's ended, but Coach, I'm blessed. And so when I went back to the moment that I fell in love with the game of football, because I had to backtrack it to understand it, right? And when I went back to the moment that I fell in love with it, my situation and my circumstance made me fall in love with it, right? To the point to where I didn't start playing football on grass. I started playing football on concrete, right? I was playing in the street, pure passion, not too much wisdom. Right? Scarred up, bloody, getting at. I just loved it, right? Like, I always ask people, what happened to the passion? Like, what happened to the love? What happened to the dedication and determination and level of commitment that when a person said, I want to do it, and they first start, right? It's not built upon politics. It's not built upon validation. It's built solely upon, I love this, I'm going to do it, I'm going to give everything I got to it.
You must be intentional and specific about the type of growth you want. We talk all the time about having goals, but I'm talking about being specific and intentional. You show me somebody who goes to the gym and works out to get more fit and healthier compared to somebody who's going to the gym to hit a specific weight loss goal, a specific body fat percentage, wants to hit a specific number on the bench with a specific amount of reps. Those two people will be light years apart in terms of the growth of their body. One intentional and specific, one general and vague. What are your intentional, specific benchmarks you have with dates to achieve them? There must be a date, a deadline. Otherwise, it's a wish. What is the intentional, specific outcome and the deadline that it will be accomplished for? This puts your brain into hyperactive growth mode. It puts you into intentional mode. Specificity is the key to growth. And by the way, so is simplicity. You must execute, and your plan, the more simple it is, the more easy it is for you to execute. Having an intentional, specific, and simple growth plan leads to the biggest gains in your life. The next piece is you need to create momentum. And this is the final thing that I want to talk about in life. See, if we've all been ill before, if you've ever had the hardship that I have a parent right now who's got cancer. And the last thing I want that cancer to get is momentum, or to spread, as you know. And we've all seen this in the negative sense in a disease where someone gets a disease and it spreads. You get ill and it progresses and it gets momentum. You get an infection and it spreads. The worst thing you want is for something negative to get momentum. On the other hand, the best thing you can have moving towards something that's growing is momentum. In other words, when something is dying, we don't want that to get momentum. But growth, we need momentum. Momentum is the X factor nobody talks about in growth and in winning that I'm going to address last today. You have to create momentum. Momentum is what I call an invisible force that takes something good and makes it great, takes something great and makes it extraordinary, takes something extraordinary and makes it a max.
Of stretching out, of acting on my dream, and I don't know what that dream is for you. I can tell you that it's possible. No one could have convinced me that after just over 6 years, I will have my own book entitled Live Your Dreams. Just over 6 years, I will have 5 specials on public television. Just over 6 years, I've done motivational speaking for AT&T, Procter & Gamble, McDonald's Corporation, Xerox, IBM. Just over 6 years. I will now have my own talk show that will premiere on Monday, Labor Day. I'm saying to you, your dream is possible. Your dream is possible.
Short-term tactical thinking is the part of your brain that says, I should just finance this new car or this new watch or this new TV or whatever else, instead of actually saving and paying cash for something that you can actually afford. Short-term thinking encourages you to make short-term emotional decisions that hurt you in the long run. And they definitely don't move you toward your overall strategic goals. The more short-term decisions you make, decisions that are based on that immediate gratification, decisions based on quick emotional satisfaction, and even based on involuntary chemical releases in your body, that dopamine hit, the further from the path you will stray. So what I'm saying is, don't. Do that. Instead, think strategic, think long-term, act strategic. Take action that improves your long-term position and moves you toward your long-term goals. How do you do that? First, figure out where you want to go. Figure out who you want to be. Figure out what you are trying to do with your life. Write them down. What are you saving for? What are you working toward? What kind of physical condition do you want to be in? What kind of relationships do you want to have? What skills are you trying to develop? And just like any leader, you have to explain to yourself the why. Why do you want to save money? Why do you want to be in that physical condition? Why do you want those relationships, or why do you want those skills? You are your own leader. Give yourself the mission and explain the why behind those goals. Write those things down in simple, clear, concise language. Read it before you go to bed. Read it when you wake up. Read it every day until it is embedded in your brain, consciously and subconsciously. And once you've written those things down, now with all this talk about strategic thinking, also know this: you need tactical wins.